There it is. Okay. Alarm. Okay. Hello, welcome to the Surgeons of Horror podcast. Its purpose is to dissect and discuss horror films, both old and new. This time we are going to open up the doors to a film that's celebrating 40 years this year. Cannot believe that. But 40 years since the film Piranha came out, directed by Joe Dante. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, best introduce myself. I'm your host, Saul Muerte, and I'm joined by Miles Davies. Welcome, Miles.
Hello.
How you going?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Yeah, look, this is
Horrified.
horrified. Yeah, this is kind of a good kind of a break. I don't know why we turned into pirates, but anyway, but this is a good break for us, isn't it? Because recently we've been going through the whole Friday the 13th stuff,
That's
so
right.
kind of good to kind of wet our hands, but hopefully not too wet, because for fear of dipping them in the water and not having any of those limbs left.
Yeah.
Piranha is very much entrenched in B horror movie genre, isn't it? It's like
Sure.
if you could list like the top 10 B horror movies, Piranha has to be up there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a classic in its own right within that subgenre.
Oh, look, it's clearly a response to Jaws, and Jaws was originally a B movie, so it's almost like a B movie of a B movie. So it's
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know what that makes it. What, D movie
a
or
D movie. Well, do you know like that's the thing? Like it's weird, isn't it? Because yes, it's a blatant rip-off of Jaws,
yeah.
and Dante didn't shy away from saying that. And
Mm.
you even said a quote from Spielberg as well, which I'll let you say.
Yeah, it's Spielberg said it was his favorite Jaws ripoff. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like everybody knows that it is, but like what's even
clearly Spielberg wasn't upset about it either because
no,
he ended up hiring for Gremlins, so Joe Dante for Gremlins, so and worked with
exactly.
him years later.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he was friends with him as well. There's that sort of that. There's the Malibu Beach House holiday that all of the big wigs took in the late '60s.
yes,
I have a feeling Joe Dante and Paul Bartel and a couple of those guys were in and out of there quite regularly,
yeah,
along with Scorsese and Coppola and all those
that's
like
right.
massive John Milius and all those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to. Man, it would have been love to have been a fly on the wall, man.
I was gonna say, wouldn't you just?
Yeah.
Just the conversations and the ah,
Yeah, all those
the
guys on holiday in a Malibu beach house.
yeah, yeah,
Insane. Just the Hollywood royalty, you
yeah,
know.
isn't it? Isn't it?
Mm,
I just did a podcast recently with a friend, which is for a future release, for Dawn of the Dead,
mm,
and I was just talking about how Dario Argento's involvement within that film.
mm.
Um, Inviting George Romero out to his place to kind of basically write the script, and then Argento obviously took on editing
Yeah, that's
for
right.
the European distribution. But it's just funny how certain directors kind of rub shoulders together and have their own little pack, if you will, and they must obviously influence each other and spur each other on and guide them in certain directions. Any director wants their input. He likes to know that they have some input into creativity. I mean, that's their job. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I think I lost
Oh,
you.
yeah, I just died for a second.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Don't die.
All
Not
right, we're
yet.
back on.
Yeah, yeah, all good.
So you were
Uh,
talking about Dario Argento staying, Ramirez staying with Dario Argento.
Basically, the nuts and bolts of it was just like how it's interesting how directors kind of tend to rub shoulders with one another, and there's that
Mm,
desire to um, kind of be around that creativity with others, and being, even like
the Mumblegoers,
feed off
basically.
that. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're all
Um,
doing that themselves. Like the Mumblegore guys,
that's it. Yeah,
are
yeah,
all feeding off each other and helping each other out. And they're so
that's it.
supportive of each other as well.
Yes.
Like, I talk to Simon Barrett quite regularly on
Mm,
Twitter, And any time that he works regularly with Adam Wingard,
Yeah, yeah,
and any time he doesn't even work for him, like Wingard did to Death Note,
yes.
and it's swear that Simon Barrett was involved because he promoted the shit out of it on Twitter.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was
Oh,
like
he's a
raving about it.
huge Twitter handler, isn't he, Barrett?
Mm.
Um, yeah, because like I haven't seen I know we're deviating, but I haven't seen Temple yet. Have you seen Temple?
Yeah, no, I haven't actually. That was he worked with his brother. That was it seemed like a bit of a favor type thing there.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I'm not sure how good it is, but I
I know it's
know
on
that
Netflix, and it's one of those ones just purely because
yeah,
Barrett's name's attached. I'm like, I should get around to watching that at some point.
yeah.
Um,
I think his brother did it, but he kind of
okay,
helped him out a little bit on
sure,
it.
sure,
But
cool.
yeah. So he's kind of attached his name to help him out.
Yeah, yeah, fair dues.
Because I think they almost have some kind of deal with Netflix now with Death Note and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that would make sense.
yeah, and they're
Um,
doing
it-
what's it called? Um, what's that Korean film? It's one of my favorite Korean films. I can't remember the name. The Devil one. Um,
oh yeah, I Google that one. Yeah.
yeah, I'll Google it. Let me have a look. Uh, sorry,
No, all right.
I Saw the
Like
Devil.
I
So
saw the
they're doing the
devil.
remake of that. So that
Yeah,
must be
hold on.
like
So I
yeah.
saw the devil. Wasn't that done by Ty West originally, or am I?
No, no, this is that was House of the Devil.
House of the Devil.
I Saw the
That's
Devil
it.
was the Korean film,
Yes.
and it's amazing. It's one of my favorite Korean films.
Mm-mm.
Basically, like a serial killer kills the pregnant wife of like a detective, and
Yeah.
he just basically the detective just loses his shit and just plays cat and mouse by torturing the serial killer. And then releasing him, then torturing him some more, and then releasing him, and
Oh
torturing him some
wow.
more, and releasing him. It's fucking amazing. It's Lee Byung-hun
That's right.
who plays the lead in it. He's gone on to Magnificent Seven and a whole
Yeah.
bunch of different like
Yeah, that's
English
right.
language films now. From the strength of that, actually, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
an amazing film. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, it's the serial killer's the guy from the Old Boy as well. So
That's right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Gosh, yeah, yeah. I'm
so
gonna have
good.
to rewatch that, but I reckon that's been a good few years since I've last seen that one.
Yeah, give it a go again because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still reckon it's one of the most amazing films. If you like those,
Yeah.
revenge films.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I do.
um,
Yeah, definitely do. Like Old Boys. Oh, so amazing.
yeah,
Um,
but we digress.
we digress. We digress.
There's no
Uh,
piranhas.
there's no piranhas. Where are the piranhas?
They
Um,
can say piranhas.
piranhas. Yeah,
Piranhas.
yeah. I
I'm like,
know.
what the fuck are they talking about? Piranhas.
So the last thing I was going to say on this, there was two things really. Is interestingly, Piranha did have a sequel
Yes,
about 3 years later called Piranha 2: The Spawning.
of course I've seen it.
Awful film.
Yeah.
And then there was a
James
couple of.
Cameron was involved with it, wasn't
I
he?
know he was. Yeah,
Another
he was
Roger
still on his
Corman
learning
film.
curve then at that point.
Well, that
Uh,
was it. He was a Roger Corman graduate too. So,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
mm,
And obviously had a couple of remakes as well. There was one in the mid 90s and another one in
three double
2010.
D. Yeah.
Yeah, 3D and then 3 double D. Oh my
You
god.
know what? I didn't mind those actually. I thought
Oh
they were
please.
fun. They were exactly what was written in the box.
True, true.
You
You
just
knew what you were getting. That's there.
yeah,
I can't deny
exactly.
them that they had the marketing down stick. It
You're
was
not
good.
going to get high out there, and
No,
it's the
no
same with
way.
this one as well. You're not going to get high out with
It's
this. This is
true. It is true.
purely B movie drive and trash, basically.
Yeah, I can imagine like it really going really well in the drive-ins of that period as well. And and
Yeah,
it's the sort of movie like of our generation that you would see on the in the video store and go, yeah, I want to check that out. That looks awesome. Um,
definitely. Well, that's how
it's
I
that it's
discovered
definitely
it.
in that.
So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, look, let's kind of weave our way through the plot a little bit and kind of
hmm
talk about the things that kind of occur within the film. Um, it starts off with a very typical kind of B horror movie trope where you have to have a couple of young teenagers get killed off
yeah,
in order to kind of sow the seed, as it will. But how dumb are these kids, man? Like,
Oh,
um, it's just yeah. They're out backpacking and they just happen to walk past this kind of fence with a hole underneath and go, "Hey, let's go exploring and find this out," you know. And
it says keep out, danger. Oh no, let's go in there, eh?
is that your Ocker version?
That
Oh,
is.
mate, let's go have a
Right,
dip,
let's go
mate.
in there and check it out.
And they do. They go in, and they find this what appears to be a swimming pool, which looks rank as all hell. And they still decide to go skinny dipping in it, as you do. And then we cue like uh, we get. Do we get like ripples under the water? I'm trying to remember how we kind of first kind of visually see stuff, but we don't. We don't actually ever see these piranha. Obviously, we just have like very kind of similar to that. Okay, we were talking about Jaws ripoff. The opening scene of Jaws, where the guy and the girl go for a skinny dip in the ocean, it's the same kind of thing. And where in this case, it's the guy that gets pulled down under the water. And are you still there? Or have I lost you again? Hey ho! Hello?
Hey, lost you again.
Hey, there
Don't know
he
what's
is,
going on here. Weird.
champion. That's right. I was just saying, so it's very similar to the, talking of Jaws ripoffs. It's the same kind of opening, but in this instance, it's the guy that gets sucked under the water first,
Yeah, yeah.
um, without a trace, and the woman comes kind
Well,
of
that's
swimming
why
back.
there's a difference.
There is a difference. That's it. But she doesn't survive. She too
No.
disappears onto the murky
Yeah,
depths,
yeah.
screaming, and then we kind of cut black. And then we kind of get this. We kind of pick up with this lady, don't we? Who's a bit kind of. She kind of reminds me of how Clark Kent comes across in 1978, like a
Yeah.
bumbling kind of buffoon, but he's
She's
actually
a
quite
journalist,
intelligent.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like this kind of. She goes out and kind of traces kids or people that disappear. That's her
Mm.
job. And we get the guy kind of, semi doubting her usefulness, but she says she's going to be okay, and she forgets the tickets to the plane and has to come back. So yeah, there's that kind of introduction. So we kind of get kind of a bit of a background of her. So that's her name's Maggie, and she's actually played by Heather Menzies, who's was originally in the Sound of Music.
All right.
Way back. I can't even remember what year that was released now. 1965, when she played Louisa in it,
Huh.
which I thought was an interesting little. Oh, okay. But she was also in the TV series of Logan's Run.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
which
where I
people may
remember her
remember
from.
him more from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was
Makes
also
sense.
in that a very similar kind of B movie kind of film called as in a snake.
Yeah. And she
Um,
married Robert Urich.
and she did, and that's why she
Yes.
became Heather Menzies Urich.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So then she ends up kind of she's basically kind of hired to find these two kids that disappeared. So she goes out to. We're never really told where in America this is, are we? It's in America
No.
somewhere.
She's
Uh,
awfully like she knows exactly where she's going though. That's the thing. And I'm like, how the fuck does she?
yeah,
Has she got a locator on these people?
I know. It is a bit like that, isn't it? The whole way through, it's
Yeah.
just,
See,
just
I
like.
remember. I remember it back then, and people were hard to find. It wasn't that easy to find.
I
I remember
remember.
once meeting up with a friend of mine, and
Yeah.
we were around the corner from each other, and neither of us knew where we were. And we were supposed to meet up and go to the movies, and we both gave up after an hour and went home. And like, these days you ring the people and
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
"Where the fuck are you?" And you
yeah.
go,
That's
"I'm around the
right.
corner, you idiot." But back then, you just accepted the fact that you were never going to find this
Yeah,
person. But she was like, "I know exactly where they are. I know
I remember.
exactly
I
where they were
remember that.
going. I know they were going to break into this place, and I'm going to go there."
She's on a mission, and she's just
Yeah,
homing beacon instinct. But she does hire this kind of drunkard kind of character who's in the back of the Beyond. His character's name is Paul Grogan, because she needs a guide to kind of get her around the river and stuff. And this guy, I swear, like he's played by Bradford Dillman.
Yeah.
And he's cropped up in quite a lot of things, like
he's in loads of shit, basically.
A lot of Clint Eastwood stuff.
Yeah.
Like Sudden Impact,
Sudden Impact, and The Enforcer, and
that's it. And he was
Falcon Crest, and everything.
And the same year he was in the Swarm as well. So very, another kind of high-profile B horror film. So it was interesting. He was going through that phase, and it did a lot of like TV appearances as well. But I swear in this, he was trying to do his damnedest best Charlton Heston impression.
Yeah.
That's how he came across to me.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
like
it's very
Charlton Heston.
A drunk Charlton Heston. That's who he is. So people just picture a drunk. Oh, I can't even say it. I've been drinking too. A drunk Charlton Heston, and you get the idea of who this guy is. So he's a bit kind of reluctant. He's obviously, resorted to the booze for a reason. He actually has quite a decent backstory. In fairness, in that his wife left, and like interestingly, he's got a daughter as well, who we see later on, who's at this kind of camp, but there's no real sign of her living in the place he's in. It's almost like he's lost care of her too.
It is a bit odd.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, I don't either.
Either he's a neglectful father, or he shipping his daughter off on camp while he goes on a bender, or
that's right. Yeah.
Weird.
Daddy needs to drink. You're going to summer camp.
Daddy's getting his drink on. Time to go to Camp Crystal.
Because he clearly you're forgetting what podcast we're doing. He clearly cares for her though, because like you see that when later on when she's in.
Well, he just doesn't want her to die, does she?
No. That's right.
I don't think you have to be an amazing father to not want your child to die.
No, true. Yeah. So they So they eventually come to this place, don't they? They do come to where the kids have gone swimming through Maggie's kind of homing beacon sensors. And it used to be some kind of like fish hatchery, which was turned into like a military kind of thing. And they find like these like weird, like they go inside, don't they? And there's like these weird little jars of creatures and stuff. It kind of almost reminds me of a miniature version of Alien Resurrection, the fourth one, where they go through and they find, the different Ripleys that have been trying to be created through DNA. But interestingly too, we also get this moment of, have I lost you again, buddy? Wow, the connections are really crap. Hello. I'm going to wait for a little bit. I'm going to talk about cheese. Number 31, the larch. The larch. I think I lost you. I don't think you're there. I don't think you're coming back. No. I've lost you for good. I can't believe it. What do we do now, sir? Get me. Oh. Hello. Hey.
I don't know what's going on here.
Hey, rat fans. Yeah, no, it's all good. I was quietly going mad. Randy, it'd be interesting to hear myself back on that one. Yeah, look, I'm all cool. I was just saying, when they go inside, they kind of discover these little jars and specimens and things.
And there's that weird stop motion creature that's walking
Yeah,
around. It's amazing.
I know, isn't it?
Special effects is so cool.
I'm glad you said that too, because this to me is almost a little bit of an indicator of where Dante would go to.
Yeah.
You see it through like things like Gremlins and
Mm.
Small Soldiers as well.
Yes, definitely.
But I thought it was really. I was surprised when because I have seen
It's
this
still
film
tippet,
before.
isn't it? So
Yeah, yeah. I've seen this film like I would have watched it when I was a kid. Let's face it, and I don't think I ever picked it up again until prior to this podcast, and I'd forgotten about this creature, and I was watching it going, "Oh my god, that's really good."
and that's it. Just gets completely forgotten. I don't remember seeing him after like they have to get out of the lab, and it's just suddenly he's gone.
Yeah,
He's going, what about the creature?
yeah,
Oh,
that's
this
it.
creature.
It's just sitting around waiting. Go, oh, they'll be back in a
Waiting
minute.
for his mate to come.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Where's
it.
Bob? What was it? Bob Hope. I thought it was Bob Hope at one stage.
Yeah,
Bob Hope.
yeah. Bob Hope. I thought they
Bob
were saying
Hope,
Bob
and I
Hope.
was like, Bob Hope.
What's Bob Hope doing there? Yeah, Bob Hope.
Maybe he's batting eyelids.
Oh dear. So they're going inside, and then that's where the Doctor appears, isn't it? Dr. Hope, played by Kevin McCarthy.
Yes,
who
a regular of Joe Dante, and can be also seen in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Horror sci-fi actors of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like to me, he's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He was in the original, and they gave him a part in the Donald Sutherland version. Yeah, in '78. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's got just one of those faces,
Yeah.
And he certainly hams it up in this one to the nth degree, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So we see him, and he's like, a bit deranged, shall we say? And but they basically so at some point, I may have jumped ahead a bit before Grogan's introduction, but there's a bit where Maggie finds the drainage switch because she wants to drain the pool to find out if there's kids at the bottom of the pool because they find the backpack and they're like, well, they might be there alive. So she drains it, and this is where the Doctor's trying to stop them.
Yeah.
And they don't really realize until too late, and he basically kind of has a go at them for doing what they did. When they go down, they do find at the bottom of the pool, they do find a skeleton in the trap, and they learn that it was actually, that it was filled with salt water. The Doctor then wakes up and he steals their Jeep, but then crashes it.
Yeah, of course.
And then they kind of, pick him up again, and they then, because the Jeep's broken, they then kind of build a raft to then go down the river on the raft. And this is where the Doctor then kind of wakes up and he does the whole backstory.
Yeah.
Part of it, and he's basically yeah, that's it. And this is
killer piranhas.
I was having this
logical.
Yeah. I was having this weird flash of Sylvester Stallone at the end of First Blood. It's like
paddling piranhas.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, clear my throat. Sorry. But yeah, he does his whole backstory. He's a scientist. It was during NAM, and they were testing on these creatures, and basically they've created these killer piranha fish.
Mm. And so in that little speech that he did, he just basically he told them the history and he told them how to get rid of them.
Yeah,
like so that was it. He could just go, all right, let's just poison the fucking river.
Yeah,
and skip all the middle parts,
That's exactly it. Yeah,
the mayor that's not going to believe him. The police nurse that's not going to believe him. All the rest.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Just poison the river.
Yeah.
But interestingly, like obviously because he's done that, you're like, well, you're no use to anyone now, so you're going to need to die.
Exactly.
We know that's going to happen.
And he does it in such a spectacularly stupid way.
I know, doesn't he? Because they basically come across this. We see another death first, don't we?
Yeah, there's the old guy with the dog, the blue healer.
Yeah. Do we see that first?
Yes.
What do we do? Or do we see the kid and the son and the
No, we see
father first?
the guy with the blue
Okay.
healer,
So the
and
guy with the
then
blue healer is played by Keenan Wynn,
Keenan Wynn. Yeah.
who for me is completely from Once Upon a Time in the West.
Mm.
That as soon as I saw his name come up, come up with the credits in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, Once Upon a Time in the West. Other people may know him more as playing Colonel Guano in Doctor Strangelove. But he's been in countless westerns, essentially. Yeah. Like you name it, he was in it. But yeah, the way he dies is interesting too.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
he just pull your fucking legs out.
He has his feet in the water and he starts getting chomped, and he goes, "Oh, that's a bit interesting." And then,
it's a bit like those Japanese like fish that clean your feet.
Yeah,
maybe you thought they just.
He's like, oh, that's kind of nice. Wait, hold on, where's my feet?
And the dog's barking away. He's like, no, I'm going to hold this out.
The dog's going, get the fucking feet out of the water.
You idiot. And then, so they see him and he's already dead. He's died. He's dragged himself out.
Yeah, he managed to drag himself to try and get to the Jeep. And then he probably realised, oh, how do I push on the gas when I've got no feet? And so he just gives up and dies. And yeah, you're right. So you do see them, but then there is another death as well because we have the father who's fishing.
What happened to the dog? So they just leave the dog.
They leave the dog. Well, they sent the dog to go back to the fish hatchery to find a little CGI creature, not CGI, it's like CGI.
Yeah, well, he could have eaten his boss or his like the old guy basically. Yeah, he was already half cut up, so he just had chow down on his legs.
That's it. I may as well eat you. Yeah. So sorry. So yeah, there is another death scene though as well because we have the father and son that are fishing, and the father is he's trying to lean over or something, and he's like starts getting pulled in by the piranha fish, but not without saying, "Stay back, shark! Stay back!
Pull your fucking arms out."
Yeah, they just don't get it, do they? Yeah, they must have really strong teeth to pull them down. But yeah, so when Paul and Maggie and the doctor are on the raft, and they come across the kid who's basically still stuck on the upturned boat, and this is where the doctor decides,
I'm going to swim for it.
I'm going to swim and rescue him. And of course, he gets bitten, but still survives.
Yeah, it's like, but what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah,
you're paddling towards the guys. What are you going to do?
You're going to get there. Like, no, I swim faster. Idiot. Yeah, there's not a lot of great choices by the characters in this film. So anyway,
they get the kid.
They get the kid. That's the thing. They get the kid, and then and so there's the four of them on the raft, and there's a bit where he's bleeding. The doctor's bleeding. Then his blood soaking into the ropes that's attached to the raft. So the piranhas start chomping at the rope, and the raft starts falling apart. But they decide to get rid of the doctor, don't they? They roll him out first.
Yeah,
but it's not enough because they're still And then, but they kind of make it. This is hilarious. This bit, they make it to the end of the riverbank with somehow staying on. I'm kind of going, how they made this raft, because rafts, when they come undone, pretty much the whole thing comes undone. It doesn't just stay one by one.
But it goes on for ages though. Like you're not that far away from the riverbank.
No,
just. You could probably jump it from there. Just paddle a bit harder instead of worrying about,
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're nibbling away at the ropes, and what are we gonna do? I think we're gonna die. You reckon?
Oh, it's so funny. I just love the bit where they eventually get to the riverbank, and then you just cut to them jumping into shot. Oh, I love it.
That was gold. It's so clearly done on a different day.
I know. I loved it. It's so cool. We also find, obviously, at the same time as we mentioned before, we've got Paul's daughter who's at this camp, and we all know that something's going to happen there. But there's also this other kind of water park that's being opened
Yes, that's right.
at the
By
same
Dick
time.
Miller.
Yeah, so like,
Another favorite of Joe Dante's.
yeah, like, to me,
Mr. Futterman.
yeah, sorry, my mind went blank. Exactly, Mr. Futterman. To me, he is Mr. Futterman through and through from Gremlins.
Yeah.
So like, I was just to the point where when I saw him, I always do that whole. I do it when I watch Gremlins, but do the whole. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la, right, Murray? Gremlins, always Gremlins in your house. I just love him in that. So cool.
Yeah.
But yes, so he's playing the mayor, the one that's doubtful, and he's trying to open up the other place as well. So there's kind of like two big locations that these people need to get to warn, and it's basically just to kind of fluff out the storyline a little bit more. We also come across. Is this the bit where we also come across the military? Do they come in at this point?
Oh, I think it's around this point, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So so there's the dam. That's right. They stop. There's the dam attendant. So he basically does this huge run through the woods, doesn't he, to get to the dam to stop the guy from opening it?
Yeah.
Because if he does, then no, stop. And he does. He managed to stop him, and they call the military in.
Yeah, suddenly all these military.
Yeah, when these scientists turn up.
With a weird English scientist. Yeah.
Yeah, but more importantly is the female scientist of the crew.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Is she English?
She's English. Yeah, I didn't know that before.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I thought she was English.
Yeah, playing
an accent.
Dr. Menges. Barbara Steele.
Yes.
People would know her from, or like maybe visually see her because she's so iconic in the posters for Black Sunday.
Oh, she's from Birkenhead.
Birkenhead?
Yeah, that's where I was born.
Yeah.
I was born in Birkenhead.
I thought you were from Yeovil.
I grew up in Yeovil, but I was born in Birkenhead.
Yeah, there you go. Learning something about you. Yeah.
My dad was from Birkenhead, and my mum was from Liverpool.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't know that. There you go.
They met at the cavern.
Did they seriously?
Yeah, that's what they met.
Love it. That's great. Like, did they actually just see the Beatles, or just coincidentally were there?
No, they were just there because it was a club.
So. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've been to the cabin. That's good.
Yeah.
I went there and I got my groove on. Nice. That was a long time ago now, though. When I could bust a move, not these days. Yeah, so we get these scientists anyway. So like, there's a bit of kind of quirky background to them too. Menges knew Grogan, not Grogan. Sorry, Grogan's the main guy. Knew Dr. Hoke, and insinuates that they were more than just friends. At one point too. But we never quite trust her throughout all of this either. She's kind of got that look about her. Have I lost you again? Oh, Beelzebub. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening indeed.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Still my head in this thing.
I'm sorry, man. We'll try and crack through the last bit here.
Tony Abbott's NBN.
WNBN.
Nobody needs internet in Australia.
Oh, the joys. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I was just saying Menges has a bit of a backstory with Hoke.
Yes, that's right.
As well, which is kind of yeah.
Mm.
So
I know him well.
Yeah.
I bet you do, you saucy mink.
Oh.
Oh.
Always going to Kenneth Williams. Oh, not Kenneth Williams. Frankie Howard. More Frankie Howard. That one. Oh. Anyway. So yeah. What was I saying? Sorry. Yeah. So they kind of turn up on the scene, but they kind of basically insinuate that they have to kind of keep everything under their hats and not tell anyone. And obviously they're not going to like that because they know that there's this summer camp and Paul wants to go and rescue his daughter.
Yeah.
And so
Flash to the summer camp.
yeah, flash to the summer camp and
the weird head counselor who's just like,
yeah,
there's something wrong with him.
Yeah,
he's going to pop up in a royal commission in years to come.
Yeah, you know it, huh? He's an odd character. Very well played by the bloke that plays him.
And to the gay counselors.
Yeah.
They were clearly having some kind of affair that, the two lesbian ladies.
Yeah. Do you want to go for
sort of eyeing each other off and you just go,
just
do it.
Yeah.
That's tease. Free love, man.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll go swimming tomorrow.
Yeah,
let's do it tomorrow. Feel good about tomorrow. Anyway.
Marriage equality.
Marriage equality right there. In the late 70s. So yeah, there's all that stuff going on. And then that's when we get the next, so it is the next day, isn't it, when the attacks occur?
Yeah.
At the summer camp, and because Paul and Maggie have been detained, and so they eventually escape
by smashing some guy over the head.
Yeah, supposedly
she learned from a plumber.
Yeah,
the weirdest backstory of how just to smash somebody over the head.
That's right. Oh my god. Yeah.
You go. Why? No, not even go anywhere near that.
No. Best leave that plugged up, I think. So the next morning there's like this swimming thing that's supposed to be happening, isn't there? And I never really got the rules of that. Even when I was watching it, I'm like, what the fuck are they supposed to be doing?
They're not doing anything. They're just sitting on rubber rings, floating around.
I know, and trying to get to one point to another, and yeah, it's bizarre. But the daughter, we didn't mention this, but the daughter Susie has a fear of water.
Yeah, a little albino daughter.
Yeah, just won't go out in the water.
Doesn't like going in the water.
No, I'm not going to go out there. It's fucking piranhas in there.
This creature. She says it as well. She's like, "There's creatures under the water."
That's right. She does.
Piranhas.
It's like, what the fuck have you been watching?
They're like, what are you talking about, you stupid albino little girl? Go and hide under a boat.
Yes, you go hide under a boat while we get massacred. Which and it's interesting too, isn't it? Because like when it starts happening, there's that fucking hilarious shot where the main counselor dude has a piranha come flying out and bite him on the face. Oh my god,
that was gold.
It was great. But
the best shot of the film.
It totally was. But I was slightly aggrieved by the fact he survives the ordeal.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, really? And they get one of the
Royal Commission, mate. Years to come.
Yeah, it'll come back to bite him. That's how it'll bite him. And he'll go, I wish I was bitten. That's it. Yeah. Rather than on the face. So but yeah, we do lose one of the ones that there's lots of kids that get fucking chewed up, but we also get one of the counselors also, and it's very kind of, she's in the rubber ring, isn't she?
Right.
And she starts
she just gets sucked down into the depths of that 2-meter lake.
That's right. Oh, just stand up. Oh, okay.
She gets she's dropping to the bottom of the ocean. Just keeps going and going and going, and you just go, how fucking deep is that lake? It doesn't look that deep.
It doesn't look that deep. You're right.
But, maybe it's the lake in The Leftovers. The Leftovers?
Nice. There's our cue. So but I weirdly with that though, I didn't pick her of the two to be the one that gets killed. I felt it was going to be the blonde one.
Oh.
But the blonde one lives on. because blondes have more fun.
Because she was a bit slutty, or
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
It was completely disregarding the rules of the
yeah. So Grogan and Maggie get there, panic for a bit, but he finds the daughter, and he's like, "Oh, everything's okay. Just stay here, though. I've got to go and warn other people."
Yeah, because then he dumps her again with somebody else, and just goes fucking off to try and rescue some water worlds.
Like, because they try and call up and they go, "Look, you can't."
Like Budget Wet and Wild.
Budget Wet and Wild.
It's like, I've got a new resort opening. No, you've got a lake opening with a fountain in it. Pretty much it.
It's got an old tank though.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had an old gunner in there.
It's just wet.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But they try and warn the guy, don't they? They try and call him up, but he's ignorant of it, doesn't want to do it. So I'm
Dick Miller, and I'll never believe you unless it's Gremlin.
That's it. But he's this is the what was I going to say with that? So this is the rip-off moment of Jaws with the sheriff not believing and saying, "No, we've got to keep the beaches open." Moment, just to give you listeners a reference point. Have I lost you again? Sweet Caroline. Ooh. Babu.
Back again.
Hey, baby. How you going? Long time no see. The I know you're over it.
They're racing to the lake.
I know you're over it, but we're getting there. Yeah. So yeah, all I was saying is this is like from the rip-off moment of Jaws. This is the sheriff saying we've got to keep the beaches open moment.
Exactly.
So they're racing over to the lake, and of course they get there too late, and there's carnage everywhere at this point. Oh, far out, left, right, and center. Actually, one of the doctors gets chowed as well. Did he have a patch, or am I forgetting? He was wearing something a bit odd. Anyway, but he kind of gets pulled under, and Barbara Steele kind of looks on and goes, "Never mind." And so lots of carnage, but they kind of get there and pull everyone. What happens there? I'm just trying to remember. So then we kind of they realize that they're fucked, so they go like, let's just leave them. Let's get in a speedboat, and we'll get to the smelting plant, and which is where the narrowest point of the river is.
That's right. And they're going to poison the river.
Because like you said, Dr. Hoke said that originally.
Yeah.
And he's
but he's got to swim down into the...
Yeah, that's right. Because he realizes if they get out into the ocean, because they can survive in the ocean, because they've been bred in salt water. So, he has to kind of get out there, swim under, while the other girl is on the speedboat. But he's attached to her, isn't he? Not to her. Yeah. He's attached to the boat. And he goes under, and he goes into because it's submerged. The part he needs happens to be submerged.
Of course it does.
So he goes underwater.
They couldn't make it easier to operate.
He tells Maggie to count to 100, and if he doesn't come up, pull him out. And so he goes under. He struggles with this rusty kind of wheel, and that's when a school of piranha arrive, and they start biting him to pieces. And you go, "Well, you're fucked, aren't you?"
But and the fact that he's under there for an obscene amount of time.
I know. I was thinking that too. Yeah. It was
like, Matt, you're under there for about 6 minutes.
It is.
Even Jean Reno in The Big Blue couldn't hold his breath for that long.
Massive digression.
Hey, bring in
love that film.
Yeah.
So good. But I had a friend, right? I know this is digression, but I had a friend who was in the stockbroker business,
Mm.
and he was actually quite successful, doing quite well. And he watched that movie and he quit his job the next day to go and into learning to be a screenwriter and a scriptwriter because he was
Wow.
so blown away. Like that was always his passion, was writing, but he
Yeah.
just kind of went into finance,
Mm.
because he thought that's what you do. And he's actually quite successful to this day.
Yeah, what's his name?
It's Alan Gilmore. So he's kind of does a lot of, he gets hired to kind of do a lot of screen treatment, kind of script treatment kind of stuff. He's living in Melbourne these days as well. I
Oh,
haven't
right.
touched base with him in a while. I need to touch base with him. But he got hired by like some, I think the Melbourne Opera Society or something for a bit. He was working for them for a while with stuff.
Mm.
Anyway, he won an award like this is going back a fair bit. He won an award a while ago,
Mm.
good 10 years or so ago, for something. I should know. I went to uni with him. That's how I know him, and that's how I know the story because he told me about it, and that's
Mm.
why he was doing drama studies
Mm.
to kind of pursue his writing. Um, yeah, but there you go. Did
So
I
yeah,
also tell you that I went to university with Dennis Kelly as well?
yes, yes, you did.
That guy, yeah, I have to salute that guy. He's like his stuff's so
That's
good.
great.
Um, yeah. Anyway,
And see what he's
I'll cut all that stuff out because I sound like I'm naming.
doing.
So anyway, so yeah, like so he's under the water, and it's almost like the piranha are going, no, don't do that, and just nipping at his arm, his hands
Yeah.
as he's trying to turn the wheel. But obviously he does it, but is he alive? Maggie kind of
Mm.
counts to 100. He's still not there, so she cranks the engine and goes tearing off, and we just see his body get whipped through the water.
Yeah, the smashed windows
Yeah,
and
smashed
yeah,
through the window. Yeah, and still
yeah,
survives. So he's yeah, so he kind of they end up back at the water park, and he's he's injured, but he's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, he knew.
Live happily ever after, but
And then we get
not
that
without a warning of
yeah, we do get that
from the
kind of
weird
last
doctor.
scene by Weird Doctor on a television interview saying, no, everything's okay. There's no such
Yeah,
thing as piranhas living out. They don't live in the water. What are you talking about?
they
They
couldn't be dangerous, or could
or
they?
could they? And then we get that shot of a beach of a guy
With some
fishing, I
guy
think.
fishing, yeah.
And she says, "There's nothing left to fear,
But
uh,
fear itself.
but fear itself." Yeah, yeah. And then we get the close credits.
Yeah, yeah.
This film stands still today. Like, I mean, it's as we said, it's still a very B horror movie.
I remember seeing it when I first got it out on video. When I first got one, well, it was one of the first films I saw on video,
Yeah,
and it's exactly how I received it back then as I received it today.
yeah, yeah,
When I watched it recently, that's like I've only seen it twice actually,
yeah.
and
Same.
it is what it's written on the box.
Yeah,
Basically, you're not expecting amazing things. It clearly comes from, it hits all the marks of Roger Corman Studios. Has the monsters, has
yeah,
the effects, has the gore. We're not being too gory, and it's got some good-looking women in it. So that's pretty much all you need in it.
yeah. I like that.
And
That's it. That's what it relies on. That it's like you said. It doesn't shy away from what it is. It's one of those. It's exactly what it says on the tin moments. Um, and Dante kind of the important thing that we should mention is this is the film that launched Dante's career. I've lost you again. Oh, there he is. Hey, man. We are so close.
Yes.
Get this
All
thing
right.
done. Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
it's exactly what's
I
written
was
on the
just,
box.
I know exactly what's written in the box, but what all I was about to say was like, it is really important to state that this was the film that really kind of launched Dante's career. Um,
Yes.
Straight off after this, he followed it with The Howling.
Yeah.
So kind of really cemented him in that kind of that the horror genre at that point.
Definitely.
And then he did a few things with Police Squad as well, and a segment of the Twilight Zone movie.
And then went fully mainstream with the Gremlins.
With
And
Gremlins,
soon
that's
after
it.
the Twilight Zone as well, it revisited as a movie.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, but we've got to remember, like, he also did Inner Space.
Yes.
I love that movie. I think
It's a great film.
I love that film. And The Burbs.
Fantastic Voyage. That's all it is. It's pretty much
Yeah,
Fantastic
that's
Voyage.
exactly. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did The Burbs as well, and
Yeah.
obviously
Matinee is one of my favorite. Matinee is my favorite film of his.
Matinee's so good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten
It's
about
one of the
that.
most underrated films. Nobody's seen it.
Oh,
Very
really?
few people have seen it. It's fucking amazing.
Oh,
It's
people
so
should
good.
watch it. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Go and check it out. I also noticed in his credits he did some work on Erie, Indiana. I loved that series as a kid. I thought that was such a cool little. It's basically it. I don't. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's basically like imagine the X-Files with Mulder as a kid,
Oh, right.
but
Oh, too cool.
quirky as fuck.
Oh, I'll have to
There's
check
some
it out.
odd episodes, but I was
Yeah.
I was so hooked on it. I loved it.
Mm.
Yeah, Matinee was Matinee is such a good movie. I just
Yeah.
forgot. I actually forgot John Goodwin's in that too. Um,
But I mean, the script for this is written by John Sayles, who's just a fucking amazing writer and
yeah,
director, basically.
yeah.
Lone Star, Madawan. What else is there? Let me Google a bit. 8 Men Out.
8 Men Out.
Yeah.
That 8 Men Out is my
Brother from Another Planet.
Oh, no, I forgot. I didn't realize he did that. 8 Men Out, by the way, is like my all-time favorite sports film.
And he wrote The Howling as well. He wrote the
Oh, right, there you go.
Yeah, and
Cool.
Planet of the Cave Bear.
Uh-huh.
God, what else is there? Men with
Too
Guns.
many to mention.
He's done some good shit. He's been doing the Alienist teleplay.
Ah, that's right. That's why his name's ringing a bell, because I literally watched that about 3 weeks
Passion
ago.
Fish. I love Passion Fish.
Yes, Passion Fish is a good film.
Yeah. Some cracking films.
There was also almost like a year after Piranha came out, Antonio Margheriti kind of released a film called Killerfish.
Oh yeah, I've seen that video
with Lee Majors and Karen Black.
Yeah.
Which is another it's B horror, kind of Italian kind of horror. Yeah. But worth watching as well. It is kind of fun. I recommend people check it out if they want something similar to Piranha.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
this is fun.
That's
a
right.
Fun little film, and it is what it is, and
it's a sort of film that you can just kind of kick back and just kind of relax and just not take too seriously. Like
I was laughing quite a lot when I was watching.
Yeah, I was. I just kind of semi-watched. I got round to watching Wolf Cop for the first time.
Yeah.
In order to come out, and it's the same kind of thing. It's just like it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And if you kind
not all movies are meant to be high art. So
no, exactly.
Sometimes they're just a bit of cheesy fun.
So. Yeah. So look, if you've never seen it, get a couple of mates around, have a few beers, watch it, have a bit of a laugh. It's
kind of bowl.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking, do I go there or not? But yeah, probably would. Yeah.
It would definitely enhance it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's us. As I said, Piranha celebrates 40 years this year. Came out August the 3rd, back in 1978. launched Joe Dante's career. It's a good little fun film.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up.
Incidentally, on a little note, his Twitter handle is actually still Piranha.
Is it really?
Yeah, check it out. That's his Twitter handle. It's like this symbol of a piranha.
I have to see that. I'm going to look that
Yeah.
up. Cool. Thanks for that. Okay, so until next time, thanks for listening to us. Do stick around for further discussions on those classic horror films, old and new. I'm your host, as always, Saul Muerte, and I'm joined for this current podcast by Miles Davies.
Bye.
Until then, goodbye.